Hello and welcome to sportsgruppreview.com. I'm Natalie Rydstrom and joining us right now is Stuart from tipsterhq.com. We are looking at the group stage here to win each group of the Copa America 2016 held in USA. And we're going to go through each group. There are 4 groups and we're going to look at who will win each group, who we predict anyway. Now, starting with Group A, I would probably say that this is the toughest group. Do you agree?
I think potentially Group C is a difficult one. Group C, Uruguay and Mexico, that's probably the toughest one to call, although, of course, Uruguay.
Yeah. One thing I would probably say that it's hard to predict with this group is obviously that Costa Rica didn't attend the Copa America 2015, but they are in this group, Group A. They are the third favourites there to win the group. But obviously they made a very deep run in the World Cup. How much of that should we read into?
I'm not really sure because Costa Rica don't generally show up on my radar that often, I have to say. I was really surprised by how well they did in the World Cup. I was expecting them to go out in the group stages, bottom of the group. Yeah, that didn't work out the way I expected, did it?
Yeah.
So for this one, if they can put in anything like the showing that they did in 2014, then they could come second, I think.
Well, obviously, Paraguay made it to 4th last year, Copa America 2015, but they are bottom of this group again. They're priced plus 800 with B-Win. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah, I think that's about right. You look at the 4 sides here, and going on the form we saw in 2014 with Costa Rica, I think Paraguay are probably the weaker side. As you said, this is a tough one to call.
Yeah.
USA, they haven't been in particularly great form recently. Jurgen Klinsmann's been under a bit of pressure. And Colombia, great going forward, but dodgy at the back.
Yeah. And the other thing, obviously, is, this tournament will be held in the USA. So, obviously that does help them a lot, sort of being surrounded by their fans. Do you think we should look at them winning Group A, or are you with the bookies here and going with Colombia?
I'm going with Colombia. I do think that, being favourite, being the home crowd, having them behind you, that really helps. But I think that at the same time, you've got to have the quality of the squad to actually win the games on the pitch. And for me, Colombia come out top in that respect.
Yeah, I think at the moment, it's the one group that I just find so tough. I think that I wouldn't be surprised actually if any of the 4 teams to win just based on their sort of previous experience. But let's wait and see. Next, we've got Group B. In there, we've got Brazil, Ecuador, Peru, and Haiti. Obviously, Brazil won their group last year, and Peru came in second. So it's kind of interesting that these 2 teams have been put together in their group, and I'm guessing will be a bit of a revenge match when they play on Sunday, June 12th. Will that sort of maybe be the group decider match? Should we wait and see who wins from that match, and then sort of see who will win Group B?
No, I think we know who's going to win Group B in this one. Brazil, very much the best side in this group. I think they're minus 350 to top Group B. So for this, I wouldn't be waiting too long.
Now, obviously, right now the odds haven't been released of who's to qualify. Who would you peg to qualify along with Brazil?
I think I'll probably be looking at Ecuador. I mean, Ecuador have got some good players, certainly in the attacking positions. Fairly solid squad throughout as well. They may not have a huge amount of sparkle to their side, but they've got enough to see them go through, I think. Yeah. Peru, Haiti, I think those would be also random.
And you don't think, so you're going with Ecuador there, you don't think Peru, who obviously came 3rd last year, you don't think that they stand a chance to at least qualify from the group?
They stand a chance, of course they do. But are they going to do it? I don't think so. I think that Ecuador have just about enough to take that second place.
Now, I'll tell you, when the markets do open, though, I will put Haiti to be bottom of the group, that's for sure, would you?
Yeah, I think, yeah, they're plus 6,600 to win Group B. So, yeah, bottom of the group quite firmly, I think. I think they'd be lucky to get a point, frankly.
Now we move on to Group C. In Group C, we've got Uruguay, Mexico, Venezuela, and Jamaica. Would you say this is one of the easier groups?
I think it's one of the more interesting groups. It should be quite a fun one. Jamaica, they've done pretty well in recent competitions. They're obviously not going to be the favourites. Mexico have got a side that can do a lot of damage to sides on their day, but Uruguay have won this competition more times than any other nation. and they'll be looking to add a 16th Copa America title in this.
Well, of those 4 teams, though, it was only Uruguay that actually made it out of their group last year. They made it to the quarterfinals. They are the favourites, Uruguay plus 100 William Hill. And I have to say, of all the favourites, this one is definitely one of my more, the one that I feel sure about.
Yeah, also you have to remember last year they didn't have Luis Suarez in their side after that bite.
Yeah.
So he's now back, he's playing, and it's his first major international tournament since his suspension ended. So I think he's going to be well up for this one.
All right. Well, the next is obviously Group D, final group. We've got Argentina, Chile, Panama, and Bolivia. And I think right now it seems that it could be the decider of the group. Definitely is between sort of Argentina and Chile, and they meet on Monday, 6th of June. Do you think that match will decide who will win the group?
Yeah, I think so. You definitely the two top sides in that group, potentially two of the top sides in the entire competition. Obviously, you've got last year's winner and the side that are expected to win it this time around. So, for me, I think Argentina will top this group, but it's a tough one.
Yeah. And obviously, they met in the finals last year. So this is going to be a big sort of rematch here. And it's actually Argentina who are favourites. These early odds here, June 6th. Minus 120, you get Chile at plus 350. Who would you back at this point to win the match, or is it way too early to tell?
I think it's a bit early, but for me, I would be backing Argentina. It's early on in the competition. That level of strain and stress that often comes on from a long European campaign may not have had a chance to kick in. Obviously, that could be what really damages Argentina later on. But right at the start, I think that Argentina should be able to come.
Yeah. Now, we've discussed all 4 groups here. Of all the 4 groups, which team do you think presents the most value and you predict will leave their group and win?
I think Uruguay are the most predictable. I think probably the most interesting is Colombia. You can get plus 137 for them to win their group with Bet365. I'm just going to go for Colombia just to keep things interesting.
All right, great stuff. Have you got a winner in mind here? Obviously, we're just talking about groups, but who do you pick to win at this early stage?
I think it's really be very difficult to look past Argentina. But if I was going for a long odd shot, plus 900 Colombia. Just going forward, a bit shaky at the back, but they may be able to get away with it.
All right, fantastic stuff. That was Stuart from tipsterhq.com. If you want to go check out tipsterhq, link is in the description, as well as the link to the article over at oddsmarket.com. Stuart, thank you for joining us.